Hi everyone, I'm here to just give you a quick overview of some essays that we'll be reading and using for the next assignment. This week, I'm trying to count. It's like the fourth week of the class, start of the fourth week of the class. And this week we will shift from memoir to academic writing. And I know it will feel awkward to many of you that we're making such a shift, but to the same point, the awkwardness of that shift really highlights the difference of the two genres. Memoir is more about descriptive and narrative writing, and the work we'll be doing in this next part of the class will be more academic, and we will be starting with making sure we understand how to summarize in an academic fashion. We summarize all the time, informally in our lives, when we see movies, when we read books, when we experience things online that we share with other people, but to do a formal summary in an academic way has several really clear steps, and that's what you're going to be learning in this unit. I guess I'll call it a unit. I kind of see the summary, and then we're going to practice some paraphrase work in class on the 26th, and we will be having a Zoom class on the 26th. So we'll get to understand the difference between summary and paraphrase because not everybody understands the difference, and there is a difference. And then we'll be doing a rhetorical analysis. So learning summary and paraphrase will help you a great deal in the rhetorical analysis. So really good for me to kind of preview this with you so that you understand how these next three things that we do in the class, what that means to you and what the connections between those kinds of writing are. So we're in the summary phase. And what I want to show you why I am recording in D2L is I want to show you, remind you where the course readings are. So remember, course materials and content, this is where you go when you want to find all the stuff I've been uploading as I've been creating work in the class. So when you get to course materials, remember there's a table of contents here, and it usually leaves you in the location where you were in the last time you logged in. So let's pretend that I was reading the course syllabus again, right? It leaves you in the spot where you were. I was adding our readings for the summary, so it took me back. But I want to show you where they are, is why I'm like moving around to remind you where everything is. So remember that all the required readings for this class are on required readings. And I have those broken up into these modules. So the in-class reading, stuff we read in class together, I will always keep here. And I'm not going to keep them like assignment organized. I'm going to start adding some stuff for us to use for the summary in class. And so all in-class stuff will be kept here. All the example memoirs were in one section. And then I have a bad title here. I'll fix it. It should say choose one essay for the academic summary essay assignment. So I forgot the word summary. But notice there are 4 essays here. I want to preview them for you so you can pick the one that you want to work on. I would say overall, these essays are much more academic in nature. The way that they're written is more academic. It doesn't mean they're all academic entirely, however, and so I'm going to go through and give you a sense for each one. Inkwell is about tattoos and tattooing. It's written in about the history. Let me rephrase. I'm not feeling well, so my brain isn't working all the way. It's written in a fashion that it takes you through the history of tattooing in the United States, but there's a part of this essay that is firsthand research, and also there is some first-person narrative in it. So it's really an interesting combination of research writing, and I wouldn't call it exactly memoir writing, but if the author is using narration to talk about people he's interviewed, that's the firsthand research that I'm referring to. It kind of bridges memoir and research writing in a way because he is using first person. The author, David Kirby, uses first person to talk about his own opinion of tattooing and also to tell the stories of people he's spoken to about their tattoos. So it's one of my favorite essays. I've read it many times and I really love the combination of genres. So choose that one if you'd like. I would say of the essays in this summary assignment, this is the most difficult read. He uses the most sophisticated vocabulary of all of the authors. A Peaceful Woman explains why she carries a gun. is about a woman who lives in the out west. I believe she is in Wyoming, and she is using argumentation to talk about her reason for believing that gun ownership and licensing and usage by a woman is necessary, based on the location she lives in. And it is primarily narrative. And the argument kind of is snuck in. So it's another great way to bridge memoir to essay writing that you would expect in a college course. If college course writing is dependent on argumentation or persuasion, then you can see how those two things are bridged. This is not a difficult read at all. It's a very easy read. It's long, not quite as long as Inkwell, but it's a good sized essay. And I'm mentioning length of the essays at this point because this is a summary assignment, so you'll want to choose the piece that you feel comfortable summarizing. You're not going to summarize an essay in one sentence. That's not the assignment here. Just Walk On By, A Black Man Ponders His Power to Alter Public Space is by a current New York Times writer named Brent Staples. I enjoy his work very much. And in this particular piece, he talks about the relationship he is in a public space as a Black man around specifically white women, how he can see the through the reactions that white women have, how the culture of the United States around racism, quite frankly, and around old stereotypes that still are in play for many white people and white women, and their reaction to Black men, how that happens and how that looks and how that makes him feel as a Black man, and what he tries to do to try to alter that. I mean, that's why he uses the word alter in the title. It's a very interesting essay. It's more philosophical in nature, I would say, than the other two, because he's trying to understand a way of being around people who he cannot influence. He cannot change their mind. He cannot change their understanding of a stereotype. So it's a very powerful essay. I would say it's about the same length as Linda Hasselstrom's essay. And because it's more philosophical in nature, it is a challenging read, but his vocabulary is not overly difficult. And then the last essay I would say is the easiest to read. It's the easiest read, which on some level is a credit to the writer for breaking down a very complex topic into an easily understandable piece of writing. The Ways We Lie, the author Stephanie Erickson goes through and talks about different types of lies, and she does a great job of categorizing the types of lies. So if you think that summarizing in a very formal way will be challenging for you, this will be a good choice, because she does such a good job of presenting the information. So I would say you've heard me say it's the easiest, and I think it might even be the shortest, but not by much. All right, so those are the previews, two previews of the assignment and of the readings, and your job for this week is to read one of the essays, one of the four that I've just previewed, and then there will be a private journal assignment for you to start breaking down what the topic of each paragraph in the essay is. And so I will post that in the checklist so that you understand what you're doing in the private journal. But that's your assignment. Read, and a very quick sort of annotation assignment in the private journal so that we can get started with the summary assignment. I hope you all have a great week. I'm feeling much better, and I look forward to seeing you on Saturday the 26th. Take care.